So good morning. You will need either a tennis ball or or a lacrosse ball. Either one will be fine. I'm going to use a tennis ball this morning. We're going to start laying on our back and just get comfortable. We're going to bring hands to your belly. Slide the shoulder blades underneath you. And maybe your knees are bent like mine, or you could go straight. And we're just going to check in with our body. We'll just start by noticing the breath. So you're feeling the body inhale and exhale. And just notice if you are relaxing the forehead, the jaw, the shoulders, the arms, and the chest. Just softening. And the belly is moving with the breath. Softening into the hips, the legs, the feet, and the toes. Feeling the mat underneath you supporting you. And the more you relax, the heavier you feel into your mat. So, as we practice today and as we massage today, there's a tendency to get tense, to tense up the muscles, to tense up the glutes. And so, we're just working on staying relaxed. So, if you feel the tension, notice it and try to soften. Now, let's heel toe the feet together and let the knees come apart. So we're just going to let the inner thighs open up a little bit. You can always move your feet a little bit further away for a slightly different stretch, or you can bring the feet in closer and just notice how those two stretches feel. Softening the inner thighs, the hips. And you're not really pulling your knees toward the floor, but you're kind of allowing the inner thighs to open so that the knees come closer to the floor. So we're just trying to let gravity do all the work, and we're not resisting gravity at all. Good. Slowly, let's bring the knees together. So the knees are just going to point directly up. We're going to take your right ankle, place it just below your left knee on your thigh, and press the knee away. Stretching into the hip now. can hug that left knee in if you want to. It's not mandatory. So if there's a lot of tension in the shoulders when you grab your knee, for some people, it feels like it's very far away. So you're really reaching. Just let that foot be on the floor and then work on softening. Good. Let's release the foot down. We're going to take the right leg and straighten it up to the ceiling. So we're pressing the heel up, pulling the toes down, and then maybe grab onto the back of the thigh, the back of the knee, or the back of your calf. But wherever you grab, you're still softening the shoulders to the floor. Good. Bend that knee. Let's set the foot down. Left ankle just below the right knee. We're going to press that knee away. Picking up the right knee if it makes sense. Breathe. Breathe. Relax. Good. We're going to lower that right foot down, straighten into the left leg. So grabbing on behind the leg, behind the calf, behind the knee, wherever you can reach. And you're just going for as straight of a leg as you can. Good. And then bend the knee. Okay, so we're going to roll onto the right side of our body. So we're going to take your right arm up, roll onto you can put your right side, so you can put your head on your arm. You could even have your head in your hand if you'd like. And then we're going to bring the knees back so we can just maybe straighten the legs. And then we're going to bend this top leg and grab onto the foot. So there's a tendency for this knee to go up. We want to bring it down toward the other knee. Now, if you're feeling really wobbly, just bend that bottom knee and use it for leverage. And then we're going to take the top knee and we're going to press it back to open that hip flexor and then roll your hip forward. We're stretching our quad, the top of our thigh. And we're getting a nice shoulder stretch here. So if you want to add a little bit more to the shoulder, you're going to watch my hand here. We're going to take the hand, walk it around the toes to the inside of your foot. That's optional, and it might not work out for you. So do it if it feels good. Poses should feel pretty good. Breathe. Nice. Keep pressing that knee back and rolling the hip forward. So you can get as much of a quad stretch as you like here. Good. And then release. We're going to grab the ball here. So we're going to use this opportunity to get into our quad. So we're going to come onto our belly. And we're going to take this ball right to the middle of your quad. It could really, there's no wrong place. You can put it anywhere and you can experiment a little bit. If it hurts, it's probably in the right spot. So we're going to come down, and I like to just put it right there. My quads are usually pretty It really, I feel this one a lot, so I don't do a lot here. So I might just bend my knee and straighten, and that's it. That might be it. That might be all you can do. Or if it's a lot, you might just stay still and just let it be there. Or you can just turn your knee out and in and rub it from side to side. So I definitely can feel where my quad is tight. I feel a little band across the front of my thigh here. So for me, this is a lot. For you, it might not be. And you could just move your leg a lot and just let it kind of do its magic. You don't have to move a lot to get a lot out of it. And then if you want to move the ball maybe a little lower or a little higher, you can. In and out. Ooh. Good. So just for another breath. Good. I'm going to roll back onto our right side. Grab that ball, set it aside, and then come onto your left side. I'm just going to flip around so you can see me. But you could flip around or lay on, just roll over to your left side. So making the legs straight, your head could be in your hand, or you could put your head on your arm. We're going to bend into that top leg, grab the foot, press the knees toward one another, and we're going to pull the knee back, press the hip forward. Breathe. You can walk your hand to the inside of your foot if you want to, or if you can. Breathe. I'm going to pull the knee back, roll the hip forward a little bit more. Good. And then release. I'm going to take that ball, I'm going to roll onto our belly. Grab the ball, put it right in the middle of your thigh. You just, one side could be worse. My left side is definitely a little more intense for me. And then you can start bending the knee and straighten. Bend and straighten. Good. You can roll the knee out a little and in. Ooh. Just kind of like using the toes to direct your knee and then going in and out. Good. And then we'll take that ball and move it up or down. Maybe bending and straightening the knee again. Moving it from side to side. Definitely a band on this side too for me. So this can be a good one to do if you have knee pain. Getting into your quad. A lot of times the quad is pulling. If it's tight, it can make exaggerate other problems in the knee. So it's just good to get it once in a while. And we'll get it from the other side too. Good. And then we're just going to set that ball aside. Roll onto your left side. Let's press up to seated. Good. Okay. So we got our quads. We're going to go to the other side. We're going to grab that ball. So I'm just going to turn sideways so you can see what I'm doing. We're going to, you can do either side. So start with whichever side you like. We're going to take that ball to your glute. So I like to go to for that dent in the glute, and then we're going to just roll onto it. And what's nice about the glute is it's pretty meaty, so it can go anywhere. Now, if it really hurts when you put it there, just try to relax. Just try to soften. If you're feeling like, okay, this is okay, I can do this. So then we're going to just try to roll it around. So you move the hips around on top of it. So you just, the mat is a really good surface for this because it gives you a lot of control. Takes a little practice. We're just getting in there a little bit. You can go all the way close to the center of your glute or the middle. You could stay on the edge or even go further out if you want to. There's lots of options. So I like to go all the way out to the edge because that's where I feel it the most. And when I get there, I kind of just try to relax. So some of the most powerful things is to find that spot that kind of gets you and then just relax. Good. Now we're going to take the ball. We're going to stay on that same side. We're going to put it under the hamstring. So I like to be a little close to the top, but you could go anywhere here. And we're going to just straighten into the leg and let it be in that hamstring area. So I like to be close to my sits bone. Straighten the leg and then maybe reach forward and grab my toes so you can kind of feel it dig into the hamstring. It helps open it up. So if you have tight hamstrings, you don't have a lot of flexibility, this is another one of those things you can do that helps you get a little more flexibility. And you try to soften. So you're relaxing the leg straight. Good. And then again, you can move around if you want to. You can move it to the outside or the inside or right to center. And one more spot, moving that ball to the back of the knee. So I like to make sure I get there, like a little above the back of the knee. So right there. This is a good spot to get if you have knee issues. I'm not saying it will cure your knee or anything, but it can take some of the pressure off. And if you notice a spot, like right now, I'm noticing it in the inner part, the inner meaty part of my leg. Just try to relax there. Let it do its thing. Good. So we're going to take the ball. We're going to do the other side. So we're going to start with the glute. Put it right in there. Come right on top of it. And then if you find it's very sore like before, just relax. So sometimes that's the hardest thing to do is soften your glute. And if you tensen you're biting down, your your shoulders are tense. You could even come down onto the floor if you wanted to. So the more you practice this, the more you find there's all kinds of ways to do it. And now we're going to move around. Maybe you might be staying there and relaxing into it, or we're just going to move it around to the inside of that glute all the way to the outer edge. And the outer edge of both sides for me, they are a little sore. Good. Now we're going to take the ball again, put it in your hamstring. So right up by that sits bone, straightening into the leg. So mine is a little tight on this side. So when you put it there, you might not be able to reach forward as far because you're pinning your hamstring a little bit. That's okay. You're still getting a lot, you're still adding flexibility when you reach forward. You're helping get any knots or tension out of your hamstring. So we did some hamstring stuff on our last class. So this would be a good pair with that class. That's good. We're doing this one now. Then you can move it around a little bit. Just takes a little practice. Good. We can take that ball to behind the knee. Just roll it back and forth. Now, after this class is over, if you find there's a spot that really got your attention, maybe just get it one more time before you move on with your day, because it's definitely worth it. You will really feel a difference in your body when you've loosened things up. Good. See, on the inner knee of this leg too is just a little interesting, as I like to say, interesting. Okay, so we're going to take the ball. We're going to have it handy. We're going to use it one more time. Come onto your back. We're going to do one more nice little move. So we got the ball. So we're going to do your low back. So when you do the low back, there's really no wrong place. But what I like to do is get the top of the glute. So I like to have this ball kind of low because a lot of back pain is actually tight glutes. So we're going to put it in the center. Just lightly set your hips on the ball, and then we're going to roll the hips over to the left. And if you find something interesting, you can leave it there. Try to relax your glutes, your legs. And then we're going to roll the ball. You can be light with it by pressing through the feet a little. And we're going to bring your hips over to the right. Find something interesting on this side. And if things are pretty, like there's not a lot going on, you can just keep rolling the ball back and forth. If you find something is a little sore, you could stay there and just try to relax. Either way is fine. You can move And if you want to keep it gentle, just move and press in the feet a little bit. So you're taking some of the weight off of the ball. And you could go up a little bit if you want to. So you can explore. And you could even go down a little bit. So do what feels good to you. So we're just moving that ball around where you need it. Good. And then we're going to just set the ball aside now. Hug both knees into the chest and just rock again from side to side. So this is like massaging the low back, just a little bit lighter now. And maybe keep the knees together, hold on to your knees, draw circles. Draw circles with the knees. One direction and then the other. Good. Let's just do a quick twist here, arms wide. Lower the knees to the right. Let's take a breath. Lift the knees up, lower them to the left. Bring them up to center. Good, and then we're going to lower the feet down. You could straighten into the legs if you like, or maybe come back to the bottoms of the feet together and the knees come out to the sides. Hands could be on the floor, on your legs, or on your belly. Bring some awareness back to that breath. Let's take 2 more long, deep breaths here. Gently bring the knees toward one another or bend into the knees if your knees are straight. Let's roll onto one side of our body and just rest here for a moment. Let's press up to a seated position. Maybe you notice that the hips feel a little different, or the back. Every time we come to the mat, we change just a little bit. Change is very slow, but it works. We just keep showing up to the mat. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today. Namaste.